Iowa is notorious for never having good quarterback play, but one thing they always seem to have, other than standout tight ends, are elite offensive linemen. This is a program that has consistently put NFL guys on the field, and this year is no different, as there are multiple really fun prospects in this Hawkeyes program. One guy who is generating some potential first-round buzz is right tackle Gennings Dunker. Dunker is one of the more fun tackle watches in the draft class, but today we are going to be talking about why I am not so sure the hype is warranted. If you guys enjoy NFL draft videos like this, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We do breakdowns like this on tons of prospects every week, and it helps me out a ton and lets me know you guys are enjoying the videos. Comment down below which prospects you guys would like to see in a future prospect spotlight, and without further ado, let's get into it. Gennings Dunker was a 3-star recruit in the 2021 class who was committed to Iowa 2 years before his signing day. While Dunker didn't see the field much as a freshman, he's been a steady force for the Iowa offensive line and has played in over 1,800 snaps for the Hawkeyes throughout his collegiate tenure. His 2024 season was his big breakout year, where he finished the season allowing just 13 pressures and 2 sacks on 588 blocking snaps. And so far in 2025, he's put up very similar numbers and picked up right where he left off last year, allowing 2 sacks and 6 pressures on the year so far. He's a player that some people think could sneak into the first round of the 2026 draft class, and a player who's generating some buzz as of late in the NFL draft community. We're going to structure this conversation a bit differently than we usually do, and we are going to start with the biggest weakness with Gennings Dunker on tape, because I don't think we can get through the rest of this conversation without mentioning this first. And his biggest issue is his overall balance. I cannot tell you guys how many times I watch him on tape where he falls to the ground or he misses his second level assignment. This is a player that is consistently out of control and is consistently ending up on the ground in one way or another. Whether that is he gets rocked by a stronger defender or he misses his second level assignment altogether and hits the ground, Dunker has a lot of great traits, but if he can't stay upright and his balance continues to be as poor as it is, he's not going to have a very long career in the NFL, and I think it's worth noting early on in this video, especially as we start to talk about his NFL outlook. As a run blocker, Dunker is one of the best in the draft class, and the grades will reflect that with him. In 2024, Dunker had a 90.2 run blocking grade per PFF, which is an absolutely exceptional number. And I think his tape, particularly on outside runs, really back this up. He is a fantastic athlete with speed and quickness to be a polar and get to the second level with quickness. But what I love most about Dunker in the run game is his finisher's mentality. There's so many pancakes on his tape where he is able to just pile drive defenders into the turf. He is a gifted athlete who did a good job opening up rushing lanes for Iowa and was a big part of why Caleb Johnson went as nuclear as he did in 2024. Balance has been an issue, however, like we talked about, and I do think there are occasions where Dunker disengages a bit too early in the run game, which is something I want to see him do better at. He holds strong at the beginning of the rep, but as the rep goes on, I think he starts to disengage, and it leads to him having some early misses. I think the run blocking, however, is the biggest strength in his game, and it makes him one of the more interesting tackles in the draft class. As a pass protector, this is where a lot of the concerns I have with Dunker really start to pop their head out, and I think he needs a lot of development in this phase. Let's start with his feet. For one thing, I didn't think Dunker had good anchor whatsoever. He was consistently beaten by the bull rush, and I just didn't think he set his feet very well. And when he did set his feet, I thought he overset his feet. What I mean by that is he will plant his feet too soon, and there were a lot of instances of him losing a step, particularly to his outside shoulder, and he was constantly trying to play catch up with the defender. From a footwork standpoint, he is incredibly raw, but I also think a lot of the inexperience and issues that I have show up in his hands. Yes, there are some solid moments on tape where he's able to show some counters and he's able to get good grip strength on the outside shoulders of defenders, but I felt like he had late hands and he was not able to consistently land his strikes with defenders. And on top of all of this, I don't think Dunker has very good length. He's rumored to have around 33-inch arms, which for the tackle position is really not ideal. So needless to say, I'm not very enthused about his pass protection tape. I don't love his hands, I don't love his feet, and I think his length could potentially hinder him going up against longer, more powerful rushers, and I think it shows up on his tape. Gennings Dunker is a player that I have a very hard time grading. I understand why so many people are high on him in the draft community. He's a great athlete, his run blocking tape is phenomenal, and I like some of the power he plays with at times. But I think he has a lot of work to do in pass protection. I think his balance is very underwhelming, and he just disengages too early for me. I have Dunker as my number 7 offensive tackle in what looks to be a very weak offensive tackle class, and he would also be my number 6 interior offensive lineman. He's a 3rd-round player to me that I just need to see more from him in the passing game before I plant my flag on him as a player. We talked about it very briefly, but I don't think Dunker is going to be a tackle at the NFL level. I think he's a guard. I think a lot of his issues in pass protection come because he gets beat to his outside shoulder, and a lot of that will get neutralized at guard. On top of that, with length concerns, I also think that he profiles a little bit better inside. And I think if you run a wide zone rushing scheme, Dunker could be an excellent fit for your offense because of his athleticism and his pulling upside. Yes, he still needs to work on his balance, and I think his anchor has to improve. But I think you're going to get the most out of him as an NFL player if you kick him inside to guard and you use him as a wide zone rushing blocker. That's where he's at his best and where I think his skill set projects best at the next level. My player comparison for Gennings Dunker is Atlanta Falcons guard Matthew Bergeron. Bergeron was a tackle at Syracuse who had a lot of the same deficiencies that we see with Dunker. His footwork was very choppy, and the Falcons decided to draft him pretty high and kick him inside to guard. While he has had some issues in pass protection at times, Bergeron has held up very nicely as a run blocker. I think Dunker is a very similar type of player. I don't think he will ever be a great pass protecting guard, but I think as a run blocker, he's going to be able to open rushing lanes for you. He's going to be able to clear guys out in the second level, and I think he can have a very similar impact to what we've seen Bergeron do in Atlanta. Gennings Dunker is a pile driver. He absolutely kicks ass as a run blocker, but he has a lot of room to improve in other areas of his game. Ultimately, I don't see him as a first-round player, but I do believe that Gennings Dunker will be a second to a third-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.